Okay, I'm going to bring up the first comedian and the person who put the show together. You all know him. He happens to be Boston's funniest bartender. He's been doing comedy for quite a while. You may have seen him working at Mr. Dooley's in Boston, Mr. Dooley's here, or Gillette Stadium, or you may have seen him in the halls of Divorce Court. My friend, Mark Hugo Mayenza.
Brian Melvin, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Brian Melvin, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, whatever. He's a real peach. How we doing tonight? We're all here for breast cancer, right? And I support breasts every time I have a chance. My name is Hugo Mayenza. I'm half Italian, half Irish, Gaelic and garlic. Every St. Patty's Day we have corned beef and cannolis. I got the job from John Joe Summers. What is that noise? Somebody get a vibrator in here? You gotta be shitting me. John Joe Summers says to me the first day, he goes, "You're an Irishman, huh? With a name like Hugo, I don't fucking think so." He goes, "Tell me an Irish joke, will you?" I said, "Well, these two Irish ladies, they're digging potatoes one day, and one pulls out a potato, it's this big. She goes, 'Mary, this reminds me of my husband's balls.' She said, 'Oh, they're that large?' She said, 'No, they're that dirty.'" He goes, "Give me another Irish joke." I said, "Well, this Irish farmer's talking to his buddy. He goes to visit him, and he says, 'Where the hell is your husband, Seamus?' She goes, 'He's back behind the barn working on the tractor.' He goes back there, and Seamus is naked on the tractor, and he's masturbating with the European grip. If you know what that is, it's backwards. Anyway. You know, like they drive on the other side of the road, they do it like this. He goes, 'What the hell are you doing, Seamus, naked, masturbating on the tractor?' He says, 'Well, we came to the therapist. We're not doing too well, the wife and I. And he told me to do something sexy to a tractor.'" "Give me another one." He says, "Give me another one." I said, "Mrs. Murphy calls up Sean O'Toole, the local grocer. She says, 'Sean, I'd like 40 gallons of milk sent out to me, stoop.' He says, 'I send you 40 gallons, Mrs. Murphy. What might you be needing 40 gallons for?' She says, 'I hit the sweepstakes. My horse came in. I want to take a bath like the wealthy people in milk.' He says, 'I'll send you the milk right away. Would you like that milk pasteurized?' She said, 'No, up to me tits will be fine.' He says, 'You're Boston's funniest bartender, are you?' He goes, 'Well, tell me an Italian joke if you're half Italian.' I said, 'Okay.' I said, 'Luigi goes up to heaven one day. St. Peter's a real wise guy. He doesn't like Italians. And Luigi's not the brightest bulb in the circuit. He goes, 'All right, Luigi, to get into heaven, give me the 2 days of the week begin with the letter T.' He goes, 'Oh, that's the easy question. That's it today and tomorrow.' He goes, all right. Trick answer. Now give me another one. Real wise guy, St. Peter is. He goes, 'How many seconds are in a year?' He goes, 'Oh, that's easy. Question 2. You got a 12. He goes, 12? How do you get 12 seconds in a year? He goes, 'You got January 2nd. You got February 2nd. He goes, 'All right. Last chance.' He goes, 'Listen, this is to get into heaven. You get this wrong. No trick answers. What's God's first name?' 'Oh, that's the easiest question of all.' He goes, 'It is, huh?' He goes, 'Yeah, you got a Harold.' He goes, 'Harold? How do you get Harold for God's first name?' He goes, 'Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.'" Anyway, I'm a survivor of, not breast cancer, although I do have breasts. People, thank you, another clap for that. By the way, who lost their tip money last night? Who lost their tip money? The Patriots. I found it.
No way.
I found money on the floor coming out of the... I work at the Patriots. And everybody there is a crook, you know what I mean? If they're not stealing from Bob Kraft, they're stealing from the tip jar. But I found the money, and then when I got outside, I said, $80, that's what we made, which wasn't much. So, I get some money. I'm a stand-up guy. By the way, you were wonderful last night, honey. Don't tell your husband. I love Jewish girls, you know what I mean? They're great. The only thing they don't get down on is the only thing they do get down on is the escalator at Bloomingdale's. But
Not with $80.
not with $80, huh? I knew a Jewish guy. He went to a nursing home, right? And it was a Catholic nursing home. And the son says, Dad, I'll get you a Jewish nursing home. He couldn't find one right now. He comes back a month later. He goes, how do you like it? He goes, I love it here. They treat you like a king. He goes, what do you mean? You don't want to go to a Jewish nursing home? He goes, no, that's great. He goes, why? He goes, they've got a doctor here. He hasn't practiced in 30 years. They still call him doctor. They got a professor here. He hasn't taught in 30 years. They still call him professor. Me, I haven't made love in 20 years. They still call me fucking Jew. I'm sorry. I know I'm politically incorrect. I am a cancer survivor, and everybody asks what kind of cancer, and I'm ashamed to say it, but testicular cancer. I know. I still have one, and it still works. But I'm there with the doctor and my wife, soon to be my ex-wife, and they're talking. She's a nurse, and I'm going, hey, I'm right in front of you, you know. But they go, like, the doctor goes, listen, this is the cancer you want, you know. If you've got a cancer to pick for, this is the one you want, testicular cancer. I go, yeah, great. They're not going to be calling you One Nut Wally for the rest of your life. My buddy said to me, he goes, hey, is it any different? I go, no, it's not any different. You just have one. I said, I said, you know those balls they have on people's desks? You swing one and it clicks and goes back and forth, like back and forth. I go, that's the only difference. I can't do that anymore. He said, did you save the testicle? Oh, yeah. I said, I put it on my mantle next to my Oscar. I'll tell you though, I worked for Giorgio Summers for 5 years, and there was a lady there, Anita O'Donnell. She had a tragic death. She died young. She drowned. And he raised like about $60,000 for her, out of the goodness of his heart, which a lot of people won't do that. But she was a hot ticket, this lady. And she used to work in the bar, and she was like 5'1", about 90 pounds. She could drink like a longshoreman. And these 5 guys come in one day, and they're talking to her. And they go, we have an Irish band. She goes, oh, are you fucking Irish? He goes, yeah, we're Irish. She goes, you're not fucking Irish. She goes, you live in America. She goes, try growing up in Ireland. She goes, I'll tell you how Irish you are. You stole your bottle of Jameson from your grandfather's cabinet and pissed on your grandmother's cat. That's how Irish you are. And then she goes, what's the name of your band anyway? He goes, we're the Dropkick Murphys. She goes, I never fucking heard of you. Honest to God, true story. I come from a dysfunctional family. Anybody have a dysfunctional family? Yeah, everybody, raise your hand. I'm telling you, my family was so crazy. I had a cousin, at their wedding, they all got arrested for fighting. Honest to God, true story. It was in the paper. It said, wedding bells turns to sirens. I'm telling you. I had an Aunt Gloria, she's crazy as a shithouse rat. She's one of these people, she'd piss you off no matter what. I told her I was getting married. She goes, she ever been married before? I said, yeah, as a matter of fact. She can't wear white, you know. I went, oh, thanks, Aunt Gloria. One time I'm sitting there, it was Easter Day, right? I had my daughter there. She's visiting home from the nursing home. And my cousin there was his kid, his daughter, and my other cousin with his daughter. Of course, these guys dress up. You know, I was dressed in a 3-piece suit, you know, because it was Easter. Their idea of dressing up was a brand new Peterbilt hat or a Holly hat. So my Aunt Gloria says to me, you know what you look like there, Hugo, standing there with the light going through your eyes, and you had the 3-piece suit on and the beard. I'm waiting to say my father. You don't want to, you know, say you look like your father, but I did. So I'm waiting for her to say that. She goes, you look like a big, fat, bearded Jew. Honest to God, that's my family. My father died on Christmas Eve, and what's sad, many years ago, died of cancer also. And on Christmas Day, my mother says, he did it again! He was a notorious drinker and gambler. And the phone rings, and all of a sudden, this is St. Catherine's, he won $1,000 sweepstakes. My mother starts yelling, he did it again! I go, what, Mom? He did what? He ruined Christmas again! I go, how did he ruin Christmas? He's gambling and he's dead, for crying out loud. And he had to die Christmas Eve, he couldn't die Christmas the day after? That's my family for you. Oh, I was going through a bad divorce, and I'm divorced now, and I have a beautiful daughter named Madeline, called Maddie, and I hate all 15-year-old girls now. This is my impression of a 15-year-old girl. What do you want? But I'm sitting there in my house, right, and the door knocks on the door, and there's a Jehovah's Witness. I said, you gotta be shitting me, I don't want to see this guy. But I thought to myself, I'm still in my Spider-Man pajamas, it's in the afternoon. I'm drinking too much, I was drinking at the time. I said, you know, I'm all depressed, my hair's disheveled, you know, I feel like killing myself. I said, I'll let the guy in, what different, you know, what could it hurt? So I let the Jehovah's Witness in, he sits down, I look at him. I look back at him, he looks at me. Finally I said, hey, what's next? He goes, I don't know, I've never gotten this far before. My daughter Maddie's great though. I love her to death. You know, I love her dearly. You know, I've taken her to every ball game. She was a Celtics ball girl. I've taken her to the theater. I took her to see Kathy Griffin. I don't censor her anything. The kids know everything today. You ever notice that? She's only 15. When she was 12, we get into a fight. I'm at my cousin's farm. And she comes up to me on the day that we're bringing her back to her mother's. And I said, she says to me, I'm still mad at you. I went, yeah, no shit, like I can't tell you. You haven't spoken to me all weekend. And I said to her, I'm still mad at you. Now she looks at me at 12, verbatim. She goes, what are you, fucking kidding me? I didn't know whether my head was going to explode. I'm looking up going, Dad, could you imagine if I ever said that to you? You would kick the shit out of me so bad. I said to her, I said, if I did that to my father, I said, it'd be calling the plasterer. She goes, don't you mean the hospital? I go, no. First they'd throw you through the wall. Then the plasterer. And kids today, they know everything about sex. You ever notice that? She's 15 now. She says to me, I'm walking by. Now, I've taken her to a lot of baseball games. My father was an athlete. He played baseball for Lexington High, Norwich University. And I've taken her to a lot of baseball games. She saw, you know, Red Sox win the World Series, all this. One day I'm walking by the room. She's like 13 with her friend, and I hear them talking about first base. It's like, oh, great, they're talking about baseball. She never played any sports in her life, really, because she's horrible. I walk by again, and I hear, I think second base is a blowjob. So I stop in my tracks, and I run back in there and go, listen, you know, I don't even want to talk to you about sex. This is stuff for your mother. I don't believe this. You know, when I was a kid, I asked my father about sex. He said, what the hell are you doing? Geez, I thought I would said, you know, I said, you know, something blasphemy or whatever. So I go running in there, I go, are you kidding me? Second base is not a blowjob. It's, you know, second base is like a blowjob is like an inside the park home run. The last guy to do it at Fenway Park was Kevin Euclid, and he's slow as a bastard. She told me, going, you know, Mama says you suck. I go, yeah, I know. I know she says that. But there were never any inside the park home runs in my marriage. Probably why we got divorced. Oh, man. So then my daughter says to me, why do boys have morning erections? I go, you gotta be shitting me. This is her and her cousin asking me. I go, how do you girls know this crap? She goes, some boy at work told us. Some boy at school told us. I go, listen, give me the kid's name. I'm going to go there and kill him. She goes, I'm not going to give you his name. You can't go there and kill him. I go, I'll go there and I'll kill him. She goes, I'm not going to tell you. I go, listen, I'll just go to the school. She goes, you don't know who he is. I said, well, I'll go there in the morning. I'll find this bastard. Oh. I used to do a lot of religious jokes. I used to do this joke on stage. I go like this, you know, Jesus got up at the Last Supper. He said, drink the wine, this is my blood. Eat the bread, this is my body. St. Peter stood up and said, sit down, Jesus, you are shit-faced. But I do that and people will go like this, you're going to burn in hell, Hugo, for selling jokes like that. I said, yeah, who's going to burn in hell now, Father Chandling? You know what I mean? The Catholic Church, my grandmother, both my grandmothers, the Italian one and the Irish one, devout Catholics, told their rosary every night, went to church every week, never asked anybody if they went to church. If they would turn over in their graves if they knew the shit was going on. Oh, I'll tell you. I saw a nun the other day with a tattoo. Everybody has tattoos today, you never notice that? She had a tattoo on her arm that said, Jesus is great and Satan sucks. You know, Jesus, he had long hair and a beard and a robe. You know, they used to say, I saw an ad the other day, Jesus in our times. He's wearing a three-piece suit with a attaché case walking down Madison Avenue. Now, Jesus with long hair and a beard and a robe, if he was around today, he'd be in the Village in New York, don't you think? Long hair and the beard. You know, he'd be with the hippies and all that stuff. Can you imagine Jesus in a dope bust? Yeah, everybody up against the wall. Yeah, you with the halo over your head. Roll up your sleeves. Not bad, no hands. What's your name, pal, anyway? He goes, they call me Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Funny, you don't look like a spick. Where are you from, Jesus? He goes, they call me Jesus of Nazareth. Nazareth, Nazareth, Nazareth. We get enough trouble without you Jersey punks coming over here. Jesus, what do you do for a living? He says, I preach that all men should love one another. Oh, gay activist prick, huh? Get in the wagon, Tinkerbell. I used to work, and I was telling my daughter, I was training at Pizzeria Uno, and they had this gay waiter, and he's teaching me how to make a Caesar salad, which, you know, it's all it is lettuce and a crouton and some anchovy sauce. He's going, he was a little anal retentive, if you know what I mean. He's going, okay, Hugo, are you listening to me? It's 6 to 9 croutons on a Caesar salad. I'm going, yeah, 6 to 9, you sure? Not 10 or not 11? No. So I go and make a salad. I put like 44 croutons on it. How's this? Is this okay? Every time my daughter sees a gay guy, she goes, see a 69 crouton guy there? I go, yeah. As a matter of fact, he is. Boston accents. I'm working in Boston. You know, Boston is the 4th largest tourist area in the country, other than New York, Washington, D.C., and Orlando. And we're right on the Freedom Trail, Union Street, right next to the Union Oyster House. Now, you can come there at patios and buy a lobster for $10, or you can go next door to the Union Oyster House and pay $40 and get banged up the ass. We have the most best oysters and lobsters. But anyway, I'm there all the time, and I get these people from Mississippi. Hi, y'all. Your name's Hugo. I wonder if y'all can say park the car in the Harvard Yard. And I look at him and I say, what are you, fucking retarded? Oh, that'll do. That'll do, retarded. My father had the worst Boston accent in the world. He goes like this, your mother and I went to New York this weekend. I went, Dad, it's New York, all right? Yeah, whatever. Went to Tavern on the Green. What a rip-off that was. Then we took a horse ride around Central Park. I go, Dad, it's not a horse, it's a horse. Horse was the fat guy on Bonanza. You know what I mean? My father was a great baseball player, and he took my grandmother to see the Red Sox and Yankees play. And he was going, Ma, you gotta learn this game. This is the American game, and everybody's gonna hit the ball and go to first base. Now everybody's striking out. Joe, this game is a boring, this is no good. Nobody hit the ball. He goes, Ma, don't worry, Joe DiMaggio's up next. Now, he's playing for the Yankees, but he's a great hitter. He's going to hit the ball. He's married to Marilyn Monroe, and plus, he's a nice Italian boy. Oh, Joe, come on, hit the ball. Hit the ball, Joe. They intentionally walk Joe DiMaggio. Hey, how come a Joe? He go to first base, he no hit the ball. My father says, Joe got a 4 balls, Ma. Joe got a 4 balls? Walk a proud, Joe, walk a proud. That's my baseball story for you. I'm getting old. You ever notice getting old? You know, men, when you're a kid, right, you want to get laid so bad. Are you kidding me? If a woman came up to you, was way out of your league, and said, listen, I'll sleep with you if you kill this guy over here. When you're 19, you'll say, do I have to make a decision right now? But when you get older, you know what I mean? You don't have the libido you used to have. I remember the first time that I told a girl I didn't want to have sex, she goes, you know, we can make love. I just bought some fresh deli meat here. And I looked at her and I said, boar's head? She's ready to drop dead. But anyway, getting old, this 90-year-old guy is walking through the park one day and he sees a frog. The frog says, hey, listen, pal, if you kiss me, I turn into any woman you want. You can do anything you want to me for the rest of your life. The old guy puts the frog in his pocket, starts walking away. He goes, hey, did you hear me? If you kiss me, I turn into any woman you want. You can do anything you want to me for the rest of my life. The old guy pulls out the frog. He goes, at my age, I'd rather have a talking frog. Old guy's in a nursing home, right? His wife's in the same nursing home. She sneaks into his room late at night. She whips off her clothes. She's completely naked. She goes, soup or pussy? He goes, I'll take the soup. I'll take the soup. Another old guy, he's sitting at the park, right? He sees a young kid eating Milky Ways. He eats the Milky Way, he finishes it, opens up another one, he eats another Milky Way, opens up a third Milky Way. The old guy goes, hey, listen, pal, you know, you shouldn't do that. He goes, what? He goes, eat all those Milky Ways. He goes, why? He goes, you're going to get fat, you're going to get diabetes, you're going to die young. He goes, my grandfather lived to be 95. He goes, he ate Milky Ways like that? He said, no, he minded his own fucking business. Oh. I remember my wife called me up one day. I'm coming out of Boston. She goes, "That's it. You got to take her." She says, "She can't live with us anymore." I go, "You know, it cost me $28,000 to get shared legal custody." I go, "Now that she's 15 and she's a pain in the ass, you want to get rid of her?" I go, "It's not how it works." I go, "What are you, the only mother who had a problem with a teenage daughter? It's in the brochure, for Christ's sakes." I got my buddy over here, Smitty. He's got 3 daughters, right? How old are they now? How old are the daughters? They're old. Like 2 of them like 24 and one's like 9. I go, "What are you, nuts?" He goes, "We were going for the boy." He says, I had the you know, the instructions on our back and everything. Still didn't work. I love it when people come up and they always go like this, "I want to tell a joke," and they always ruin it, you know what I mean? It was this retarded guy and a priest, and I go, you know, don't even bother. But if you want to tell a good joke at like Easter, Thanksgiving, or Christmas, here's one you can tell, and they're clean. Easter, right? Jesus is walking through Jerusalem, and he's looking for a robe. He walks into Pincus the tailor. He goes, "Listen, I need a robe. I don't have much money. I'm doing some speaking engagements around here." And the owner comes up and he goes, "Jesus, come over here, I'll measure you, make you a beautiful robe, come back tomorrow morning." Jesus says, "You know who I am?" And he goes, "You're an up-and-coming guy. People know who you are." So he comes back the next day. He goes, "I love it. I love the way it hangs, the way it looks. What do I owe you, Pincus?" He goes, "You owe me nothing, Jesus. Wherever you speak, wherever you talk, tell him that Pincus from Jerusalem made this. All I want is the advertising. You're an up-and-coming guy." So Jesus says, "That's great." He leaves. He comes back 6 months later. There's a line out the door to get in. He goes, "Hey, Pincus, business is good, huh?" He goes, "It's very brisk. Are you kidding me? We're going to go into business together. 2 Jews will make a fortune." He goes, "We're going to call it Pincus and Jesus. We'll open them up all over." He goes, "What do you mean?" Jesus was a cocky prick. They don't tell you that in the Bible. He says, "They should name it Jesus and Pincus." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "I do all the work. You're just a name." They argue for 4 or 5 hours. They finally come up with a name, Lord and Taylor. It's my Easter joke. Crazy Jane's here tonight. I love Crazy Jane. You know why? Because when I was going through my divorce and I was broke, she said, "You got a daughter, Maddie?" She took her out to get her nails done, her hair done, pedicure, and I'll never forget that. That's what life's all about, is friends and family, isn't it? I'll tell you. Crazy Jane, she's crazier than a shithouse rat, but, you know, she's a sweetheart. The first time I met her, she makes like a longshoreman blush. I don't believe the shit she says to customers, but she's a great bartender and a great person. Anyway, the other joke, she is, isn't she? Crazy Jane. Anyway, the other joke, the one at Thanksgiving, you know, this guy's dating a girl, and for the first time he's going to bring her home to her mother, and his mother, and he says, "Listen, you're going to come home, I'm going to introduce you to my mother for the first time." She goes, "Okay, but I'm not eating the turkey." He goes, "What do you mean? She's cooking all day. You meet her for the first time. You got to eat the turkey." She goes, "I'm a vegan." He goes, "You know, it's an old Indian word. It means shitty hunter." All right, here's the Christmas joke. The Christmas joke. These 3 guys are shit-faced on Christmas Eve. And they smash the car up and they all die. St. Peter goes, "What are you guys doing? It's Christmas Eve. I'm wrapping presents. I don't have time for this shit. You're all going to hell." He goes, "It's Christmas though. Give us a break." He goes, all right. If you can remind me of heaven or Christmas, I'll let you into heaven." So the first guy lights a lighter. He goes, "What is that?" He goes, "Christmas candle." "All right, get in quick before I change my mind." Second guy takes his car keys out. He's shaking them around. He goes, "What is that?" He goes, "Jingle bells." "Oh, Jesus, get in quick." Says the third guy, "You were driving, you were drunk the most, you killed your friends.